Hello, it's Stuart, the Unrepentant Atheist. Thank you for tuning in to yet another clip from the Atheist Experience and my comments. So we've got Edward calling in from London, and it's a very exasperating call. It lasts about 20 minutes, and I don't think I've ever seen so much time wasted in explanations. Essentially, he's called in, and he called in saying, I've listened to you before, Matt, and I presume this about you, I presume that, and effectively what he presumes is that when Matt says about, for example, consciousness, that he doesn't believe that there's evidence to support that a God caused consciousness in human beings, or is the origin of consciousness. Edward presumes that by saying that, Matt is also ruling it out. Now, it got really frustrating. They spent, the toast here, Tracie, Harris and Matt, spent 10 minutes trying to clarify their position. And in the end, Tracie had to go to the gumball analogy while she used Skittles. And I thought she was quite clear in the way that she illustrated that if somebody claims that there are more green Skittles than red Skittles, and she says that she doesn't believe in that claim because she hasn't got evidence for it, it doesn't mean that she's ruling out that there might be more green Skittles, or it doesn't mean she's accepting that there are more red Skittles. So, or it doesn't mean that she's accepting either that there are more red Skittles or fewer red Skittles, because she's saying that she doesn't believe that there are not more green Skittles. And even this, I actually think that the gumball analogy is too complicated for some people. So let's just see where they go with it, though.
Did I?
Yeah, I understand you.
I don't think you do understand
your point, but the default should be, I don't. Beliefs count for nothing, so the default...
Beliefs count for nothing. It's an example of one of the many false things that he's said. I personally don't think that beliefs count for nothing. I don't know for certain that they don't count for nothing. I'm not really too sure what he means by that. But some beliefs are more justified than others. And even those beliefs which are not justified, I'm not sure whether it's fair to say that they count for nothing. And I'm surprised Matt didn't say anything about that, but I think that at this point he's looking fairly fed up, and I think he's become quite indifferent to the call.
Should be, I don't know. I don't know whether energy can become conscious by without intelligent manipulation or with intelligent manipulation.
That's fine.
The default shouldn't be, I will believe this until proof.
Correct. Now explain why you have departed from the default that I'm holding.
Well, I would say that the default should be, I would say that correct me if I'm wrong.
You are.
I would say that the default is, I don't know. I don't know whether it can happen, if it happened with intelligent manipulation or without intelligent manipulation.
We agreed that was the default. You have departed from the default.
Yeah.
And I'm asking why you have departed from the default.
How has Matt departed from the default? Can you explain what it is that, like, why you think he has held, why do you think he holds a position?
Matt's looking very displeased about this.
That this is unknown.
Rather than saying, I don't know whether it was intelligent manipulation or without intelligent manipulation, I'm presuming that Matt is taking the stance of energy can become conscious.
Can we just hang up on Edward now?
I guess I don't know why you think that. Like, I don't understand.
Since I just fucking told you that's not the case.
Before you cut me off, can't you clarify that? Okay, so you're saying you don't know.
Edward. I already have clarified it. I specifically agreed with you that the default position is I don't know whether or not an intelligence is required to intervene.
Right.
And I pointed out before then, when you said that my position was that an intelligent that an intelligence is not required, I said that's not my position. My position is that I am not convinced that an intelligence is required. I clarified this several.
I'd like to actually say that in my online exchanges with theists, this is actually the biggest problem I face. The presumption that we're taking the negative view. We're asserting that something is not true. This is the biggest stumbling block to debating with theists online, that they presume that we're all hard atheists, we're all hard materialists, and that we've ruled out any other explanation other than naturalism. That might be the case for some atheists, in which case I would say to those theists who want to shift the burden of proof, go and find those hard atheists and debate with them. That's not my position. I'm not a hard atheist. I don't make any claims that, for example, naturalism is the only possible explanation. I don't assert that there are no gods. I'm open to being persuaded. I don't rule anything out. Anything that's logically possible, I don't rule it out. So just stop straw manning us and provide some evidence.
Several times, and you are still arguing against this straw man, even after both of us have tried to explain this to you. And Tracie did it with Skittles. And we have agreed on what the default position is. Now, the default position for, let's say, how does consciousness arise? My position is, I don't know. And then the question becomes, is an intelligent mind required to manipulate in order to result in consciousness? And my position is, I don't know. But your position is that you do in fact believe that an intelligent mind is required to manipulate in order to result in consciousness, correct?
Yeah, that's good.
So
did you hear that pause? Oh, he sounded reluctant, didn't he, to admit that? Finally, we're going to get somewhere with this conversation.
You're the one who has departed from the I don't know position, correct?
Yeah, correct.
Can you explain?
Oh, he's out there on his own because he now realizes that that's not Matt's position. Matt's position is the default, which means he doesn't know. And now Edward is saying that actually he does know. So out of the two here, only one of them has got the burden of proof. And he's going to have to say, I wonder what his evidence is.
Explain to us why you've done that without saying, I've done it too when I haven't.
Okay, yeah, all right. Well, I beg your pardon. Maybe I misunderstood from my limited...
Okay, you've apologized. Now get on with the evidence.
Research on yourselves. I presume...
Oh, God. He's back to presuming again. I'm glad this guy isn't in the same... I'm glad this guy is not in the same room with me because I think I would throw him out of the window.
Which I said initially, that it was a position... a premise
Edward.
That energy can turn into consciousness with it.
Edward, okay, I don't need another explanation. I don't need you to explain to me.
Look at Tracie, she's laughing her head off.
10th time that you've presumed. You have presumed and we've called it out. You presumed and we called it out. I don't need you to explain why or the fact that you presumed. Please either give an account for why you believe an intelligence is required, or I'm moving on to some other caller.
Okay, so what are you asking for proof?
Oh, God.
Sake.
From me, yeah? So, okay, I accept it.
You know, you're in England.
Don't interrupt him, Matt. He's about to say something. He's about to actually provide his evidence. Don't sidetrack him.
I realize that we're two countries separated by a common language, but I don't think that my English is so bad that it should result in this much anxiety. How many ways can I say, please give us your explanation for why you have departed from the neutral starting position to your present belief that an intelligence is required in order for consciousness to arise?
Yeah, okay, because the intelligent designer has communicated with conscious human beings in the form of text.
The Bible.
And that the proof of that text is fulfilled prophecy, and it is deliberately difficult.
Yeah, we've gone down this prophecy road with Edward before, and he was specifically told that if he called back in with this without offering an understanding of what.
For the record, prophecy is one of the worst possible apologetics to anybody. I mean, there is so much wrong with the concept of fulfilled prophecy. It's just not even.
I would, I don't necessarily want to be entirely self-promotional on the show, but I do have another
Okay, so there we have it. I would not recommend that you listen to the whole call. That's just unbelievable. I just cannot believe that he phoned into the Atheist Experience and he spent 15 minutes on his presumptions and knowing all along that the only evidence he's got is fulfilled prophecy and the Bible. It's just unbelievable. I mean, if he spent time watching the Atheist Experience, he should know that fulfilled prophecy and the Bible are not considered in any way, shape or form any kind of evidence for the supernatural or for God or anything like that. He should know that by now. If he's watched the Atheist Experience, he should know that no weight is put on those as evidence. So complete waste of time. But I found him particularly unpleasant. I mean, to be honest with you, I'd even rather listen to Darth Dawkins than him. I mean, at least Darth Dawkins in a kind of way is sort of entertaining. But Edward is just such a huge monumental time waster and dishonest as well, because he phoned in trying to shift the burden of proof and acted like he was surprised when finally backed into a corner and being asked for evidence. He kind of paused like, I wasn't really expecting that. I don't know whether he ever did call in again, but I hope he didn't. So, well, let me know what you think about that. I mean, Edward certainly gets my prize for the biggest time-wasting caller I think that I've ever come across. And, all right, the fact that he comes from Britain as well. From Britain. I don't think I'm such a big time waster as Edward. But it's kind of ironic that, we've got Oxford and Cambridge here. We've got, probably one of the best higher education systems in the world. Although, let's be fair, Edward does not sound to me like he's ever graced the steps of a university. Well, maybe he has, I don't know, but he doesn't really seem to be able to process, rational discourse. So, well, okay, that's all for now. Let me know what you think of that. I'll be back again with another episode. If there's any clip you'd like me to review, let me know in the comments. I'll see what I can do. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.